We're twins.
All right, we're
Go on. That's not the look to go for, Jesse.
What have you done to him, Adam?
recording up on the side of my screen there, and I couldn't see your haircut. Yeah, Jess, looking good, mate. Looking good. You coming into the summer season?
Hey. Yep. Gotta grow her out in the winter time and cut her off in the summer.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for winter.
We're opposite.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday, Joe.
You're 35-degree winter.
Just a little tiny bit cold.
Right.
And yeah, thanks, guys. Happy birthday. Appreciate it.
No worries. Huh?
Woo-hoo. 21.
One, Joe.
Yeah. Not possible.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm definitely younger than you, Darren. I think everybody is. How old are you, Adam? Oh, old timer. Yep. Yep.
Gosh.
Look at
None the wiser.
I'll be 54 in
what's that? Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter. He doesn't age, does he?
No, he just picks bad movies.
Gosh.
Put him. Look.
So how is everybody?
Good, mate.
Old and tired.
Well, come on, Dazzle. What's your news? You got beautiful news.
I'm upright.
Yeah.
And
did you want to say, or do you want to?
I've got a new grandson.
Congratulations.
Another little boy.
Yep. How many is that now?
Now you turn grumpy into Grampy. You got to put an A instead of a U. It's Grampies.
Grampies.
Instead of Grumpies.
Grampy.
Grampy's little boys.
That's it. So Jesse and I are the only ones that don't have grandkids at the moment. Isn't it nice, mate?
Yeah.
No, you got to get grandkids.
Yeah, they've got it wrong, haven't they, Darren? Grandkids are awesome.
Not yet.
You can wind them up and then they get all messy or they start crying and you can just send them back. Yeah.
So, hang on. I think Joe dodged. Hang on a second, Darren. Hang on. Something more important than your grandchild. Joe dodged a question. Did you notice that?
Oh, get out.
Did you notice that Joe dodged the question?
Missed that.
How old were you, Joe?
What was the question?
How old were you?
When I had my first child.
No, your birthday.
I was 49.
He said.
You're 49.
He said that.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I was too busy talking.
Yeah. Next year's the big 5-0.
So that officially makes me the oldest of the group, the grandpa.
Yeah. You are, Adam. You are definitely the oldest.
The post you just did.
Yeah, that's very funny though.
Yeah.
It's
going on.
He's been sending me messages because he does other songs. So he always sends me messages.
Okay, someone's got to put. Yes.
Yeah. We're losing you, Adam.
We're losing Adam.
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh, bugger. Where did he go? Hang on, Adam.
It's
We're having
always
gotta
technical
be Adam,
difficulties.
Yeah.
Darren, you're
I think
running the
Adam
show
does it on
today.
purpose.
7-7.
Of technical
Yeah, it is.
difficulties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
3. So it has been 3. All
Oh,
right.
poor Carl. Poor Carl.
Oh.
No, this is second week,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Second
I
week.
did it. No, it's actually 2 weeks and a couple days. It's okay. Carl. It's Carl.
Somebody talk.
Sorry, you got a bit of a bad connection, Adam. So there's a really long delay, and you're a little bit choppy as well. It must be that old age. Mine's great.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. Wren. W-R-E-N.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You ever see the
original.
movie Footloose?
What movie?
Sorry?
Footloose. I don't pay attention to that stuff. This is my world right here.
Yeah, it's safer.
Yep.
He must have a magic touch and make no mistakes, because I honestly spend half my time fixing my bloody mistakes.
I know a lot of elves. I know a lot of elves that come in at nighttime.
A lot of nighttime.
Santa Jesse.
I have little gnomes.
Yeah.
They do all the work for me, and I just wake up and I say, "Good job."
Yeah. Oh wow! Look what you did last night. Here's your cookie. Yeah,
Pickups. Those are my favorite.
that looks nice and tasty. Yeah,
No.
I can see it.
Guys, so I'm still continuing for the podcast at the moment. So I'm still continuing for.
There he is.
Adam.
We're online. It's you. You're not in line.
You,
Oh, there he is.
you didn't hear
Yeah.
anything we said.
So, Adam, you're a school teacher. You respond to fingers in the air, don't you? So, I'm just wondering, when are they going to remove the Faraday cage?
You did hear us.
You'll have to get that Faraday cage removed so we can get that signal back in. Hey, copper shielding. You got copper shielding in there or something, haven't you?
There's
I just worked it
major
out.
feedback.
I just worked it out. It's the perfect dome. That's why it's metal.
You dropped him down below.
I don't know if he understands what we're smack talking him right now, because the glum look on his face says it all,
No,
doesn't
it's
it?
just frozen.
Oh, good. Yep. So I think you're asking if I'm not too sure what the question was. So you're saying, like, it takes, if you're building 4 at once, it takes 4 times as long?
Quicker. It's
Quicker.
quicker.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely quicker.
For sure.
Yeah. I learned that many. Sorry.
Time out. Well, it takes longer.
Longer.
I think
No,
it's
I reckon-
quicker to get a guitar done to get an answer, a question out of Adam.
I just built 2. I just built 2 while we were waiting.
Yeah. I didn't know if he did that 3 times.
With me, I have just been working like crazy, actually. It's been a lot of work.
Mm.
And I had my birthday this weekend. I wasn't planning on doing anything. You know, I'm 50 next year, so 49 is not as significant. But no, I ended up having a couple mates around on Friday night and some workmates, and they're much younger than me. They're like, it's because I had a lot of people coming around. I've been after work all week. I've just been sort of cleaning up the shed and cleaning up around the house and getting everything ready. And so yeah, it's taken a bit, but I'm really keen to start working again back in the shed. It's all clean, everything's organised. I've got all these new drawers and filing systems, and now I need to mess it all up and make something. So yeah, just doing the grind, but constantly thinking that I just want to get into a new build.
You finished that Jimi Hendrix thing too, didn't you?
I did that little plaque thing. Yeah, I did finish. I was actually a little bit disappointed with that. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I had like a cookie cut out of a tree. It kind of looked like a guitar pick. And for a friend of mine, I laser imaged a Jimi Hendrix image in it, and then I filled it full of purple resin. And would you believe that the pigment color was called purple haze? So the actual purple I put into the Jimi Hendrix plaque was called purple haze. Yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
the problem is when I designed all this, the wood was sanded but had no oil or finish on it. So it had the light blonde color that wood has when it's like dry. And so the purple looked amazing. But then as soon as I started to oil it, all the grain of the wood popped up and it darkened up and it became really hard to actually see the Jimi Hendrix image. So it wasn't a yeah, it was. So no sparkle. There was no glitter coming out of that purple. I was a bit disappointed. It wasn't a perfect project, but it was a gift for a friend that they didn't know they were getting it. So it was well loved and well received. I just wasn't fully satisfied with it. And you guys know what it's like being a builder. You know, if you got an idea in your head and it's really a strong idea, and then the end result doesn't meet your expectations, you get a bit disappointed about it. Hey,
Almost
That's every
every
one of my
time.
guitars.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So annoying. Hey, and then you show someone your work, and you're like, "Look what I just built," and they're going, "Wow, that's amazing!" And all you're doing is pointing out all the flaws, all the bits you don't like. You know,
Yeah.
it's a builder's curse.
Worst critics.
Yeah, builder's curse. Yeah. Questions? They are. Yeah.
Hmm.
We are a very niche type of, and what's the point of using a bot or using something like that?
Yeah.
Hmm. Piccone. Piccone. Michael Piccone. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That's right.
I don't I don't remember life before it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I did with any spare time before building guitars. But I'm very stubborn, and to me, I want them to sell themselves because that's what art does. You don't have to push art for somebody to like it or buy it. I that's my way of thinking, and it kind of bites me in the ass. But I'm not going to quit doing the way I do things.
No, you got to stay true to your passion, and organically is the way that you choose, then that's the way you choose. Same for me.
Yep.
That's right.
Definitely. I love our group, and yeah.
To cast, we're not going to sell guitars to the members in our group. So,
No.
you know,
Yes, that's like, for example, like your birdwood guitars, your hummingbird guitars. I'm Clutch Creations, and Darren is now Grampy.
Grampy.
Yeah, Grampy.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't make
So
any money from it.
yeah, well, up your game then, Grampy. But my
Yeah,
point
but
is we all have those side Facebook pages, and that's what we use to promote for business. The Facebook group I may share as Joe Alteen, or I may share as Clutch Creations, and that is to entice people to share my business page. So hopefully I can drum up some more sales, not necessarily through members of the group, but them liking a video I share, they want to share with their friend base, and then it gets passed around here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah,
That's what I hope for.
I like sharing ideas too.
It's Nebraskan water.
Nebraska. Right.
it is a case of trying that bandsaw from Aldi. There was a bandsaw at Aldi for $150. I thought, oh, I'll chuck something on eBay and.
Mm.
Mm.
Well done. Yeah. Mm. I've never listed a guitar for sale. I'm
Mm.
I'm word of mouth and consignment. So before I even start a build, it's already sold.
There you go.
But I'm not in the same league as you guys at all. I can't spit them out as quickly as you guys. Like to sell 4 in a week, I can't even fathom that. You know, I don't have the inventory to do that
So I sold.
because I build one at a time, and I'm really slow. They take forever.
Yeah.
But it's a sense of security that I like. I like to know that I have it's already sold before I even start. I feel less pressure to have to then find a buyer.
Sure. I feel that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's calculate it. Worked it out. You know, he's working for $25 an hour. He's working for 25.
If he's getting, that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. No, it's not. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but it's hard to. Yeah, but who of us gets to charge per hour though? Really, you do. Yeah, right. Okay. I can't do that. If I charge per hour, if I charge per hour one of my high end builds, I have to sell it for about 6 to 8 grand, and I just can't do that.
25. He's in the same situation, Joe, with what he does. It takes him
Mm.
128 hours
Yeah,
to build
I
each
hit
guitar.
200. I hit 200, 300 on my high end builds. Like I've done 300 hours on one guitar, and that's impossible to sell per hour. Yeah, yeah,
You can't. You can't build a
yeah.
business. You can't build a business on $25 an hour. You can't. You look. You have
So what
to treat yourself as a business, as a
Yeah.
business. This might
You have to look at it per hour.
well, look at an electrician. Have a look at an
Yeah,
electrician or a
per hour.
plumber
You have
or
to.
their rates. When they're kind of feeling, I'm not sure, I'm really want to test the market. I don't want to rip anyone off. I want to, I'm not a really great builder. All of these things that are coming out. And it's natural to say that as you were developing a craft. But after 14 years of building cigar box guitars and electric guitars, I consider myself a luthier. I'm self-taught, but I've built electric guitars. I've built 6-string guitars. Jesse, you're a luthier. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of experience developing and creating and molding these instruments which play beautifully. Joe, I sit there and I look at the work that you're doing, that intricate, fine. On how you're doing things now and the setup that you've got in your workshop. We've got 4 different people here with 4 different mindsets, and when it comes to developing, either having a business or using it as, which is what we're doing, which is using it to supplement an income that we're doing. None of the 4 of us are full-time doing this. And then you have Darren, who's kind of, in my opinion, the purest of us all, because Darren just does it because
He's
he
a bum.
He does it because he loves it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I envy Darren in many ways. I sit there, having a chat with Darren. What are you doing today? He goes, I don't feel like building today. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm doing the yard
I don't
today.
feel like doing anything any day.
You just do it. You do it when you want to do it. Whereas today, I know I've got to go downstairs and work on those 4 guitars because they're already, all 4 of them are at the cutoff point now. One of them's actually gone over, and I've been in contact with all the clients, and they're all wonderful. I got sick in the middle of it. I got a bug in the middle of it, which took me out of action for nearly 2 weeks as well. So I couldn't be around wood dust. So I had a respiratory problem. So it happens, That's the thing. But anyway, it's always interesting. I love putting these up, and everyone who commented had such a different thing to say. Now, the next thing.
So to me also, and I see this in the group.
Oh, go, Jesse.
Sorry. So, so there is that option C as well, where you may try to make a business, make a little money. You may do it just for a hobby. But the option C is we all want to be part of a big collective tribe. We all want to have something in common, and the brotherhood, deep down in our in our brains, we're all looking for that camaraderie.
That's the drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We may be outcasts, in other aspects of life, but you know what? We all build cigar box guitars, and that's what brings us together. So that's cool.
That's it. And I love the fact that with
And sorry about my voice.
No, I love the fact that with all of these different dreams and aspirations and everyone kind of joins together, and it's like everyone's been so respectful. It's just been such a lovely thing, it's been very, very, very cool. The second question I had, which was basically, hey, we're doing a podcast today. I am trying the podcast. The podcast is harder.
Start again.
All right. So people have
we didn't catch any of that, Adam.
You're right, mate. People have asked me to continue uploading the podcast. It's not because they're not enjoying. There's obviously problems with this format. at the moment the way it is. Probably until I can either do one of two things. One is either get myself a new computer, which I can't afford at the moment, and two, try and get better speed out of the internet that I've got here at the moment. Neither of which I can do anything about immediately. So the questions that we had, the second questions were, releasing something that doesn't work, and I don't have software to edit the videos, so it's going to go out raw. So if you're watching this and there's pauses and stops and issues
No good.
with it,
And we're all just doing our best anyway.
that's it. The first
For
question
sure.
was, how important is box selection? Go.
Who wants it? Darren.
Oh, sorry,
Jesse.
that was from
Box
David
selection.
James. That's from David James.
I think that's a personal question that's going to get a lot of different answers because me personally, I don't care if because I never go for an acoustic. You know, I shouldn't say never, but
So you're talking sound wise, you don't care.
sound wise, I don't care. As far as the wood, whether it's paper or solid wood, I don't really care about that either because I'm at embracing. And
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times there's going to be a magnetic pickup. So as long as it looks cool, you know.
For me, it's box size has to do with playability for the feel. If it's too thin and I'm trying to sort of hold it up and have a strum, I kind of can't hold onto it properly. Yeah, look at that thing. So if it's electric and you plug it in, that doesn't make a difference whether that's a big box or little box. But for me, that's too thin. I don't feel like I'm holding on to something. I build, this is the size, I've built this size quite a few times and I messed around with it a fair bit. This is actually the size that I use on all my high-end ones. They're exactly the same because this is the size
8
that I
inches
like.
by 10 inches?
Beg your pardon?
About 8 inches by 10 inches?
I would say, because I'm not inches, I'm centimeters, millimeters. I would say it is 10 by, say, 12 to 14.
Oh, okay.
And about that to me, the length is irrelevant. It's the height of the box that I like. I don't like them to be thin. I don't like them to be too big. I like them about, just under a finger width. So that's the part. And then now I feel like I'm holding something. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Look at
I know that same feeling.
Yeah, Darren's size is similar to what I like.
Yeah.
But
Anything
this one,
thin, I can't hold it.
Yeah, you can't hold it. That's right. That one's a big one.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the one I like. That one. Yeah. But again, as Jesse said, that opinion is only mine. And everyone has their own opinion, and a lot of it is personal feel. But that between 8 to 10 to 12 inches around there, I think that's the perfect size.
So 10 inches just for.
Yeah. Deeper. There's more tone in that one. Yeah.
It's not loud, and that's acoustic. Look, you know what? I'm of the rule that the best boxes.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Those are great pickups. They really are.
The one you can get,
Hmm.
but these little bass pickups, they're actually really, really fun. But go and check out Chicken Bone.
Hmm.
John's, sometimes, especially if you live in Europe or you're living in Australia or New Zealand, getting boxes can actually be really, really difficult. It can. Be really hard. Thick box. It's all personal. It's all totally personal. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
half the fun of
And
building
you're
these
supposed
guitars
to
is problem
build with
solving,
what you've got.
and it's a nightmare. This was really.
Mm.
I had the box for ages.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and it's rough. Like you can feel the texture
Mm.
on it. And clear. What is it? Cabot's. The Cabot's one, the water-based sealer, which I absolutely. It's kind of like a milky clear coat. It's beautiful.
Yep.
It's my favorite. I love it. I don't like using polyurethanes or anything that's too that's too heavy. Even on the necks. On the necks, what am I using, Darren? I'm using the what's that oil? Not tongue oil. I do use tongue oil, but the other
Linseed.
that's the one.
Linseed oil.
And I love because I love the feel of the wood.
Hmm.
And every now and again, palette
Character.
Yeah, man, it's got character. It's fun. But yeah, wow, that went longer than I thought. Okay. So next question I get. Oh yeah, Michael Pinkerton. I get a lot of questions in regards to what effects I use in my music.
Great question.
Yeah, from which pedals for basic effects, what pedal order, how to set up a pedal board, what kind of patch cables, isolator, power supplies, etc. All right, let's simplify this, Joe. Because I know you're doing a lot with effects. Jesse, you've been playing with effects as well, haven't you? So,
Yeah, I don't own any pedals though. I have all modeling, like a modeling amp
yeah,
that has presets on it. But I guess I do have a couple of effects pedals. One actually, Michael Pinkerton gifted to me.
yeah.
And I really love the fuzz on that. But I'm more of a distortion guy more than different other, reverb and stuff like that. So I'm really not the guy to ask about any of that stuff.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The presets, I use a lot of presets. Michael Pinkerton, he's actually the guy to answer this question, in my opinion. He's got the whole lot covered.
For sure.
I like a processor pedal. So it's not like you can get a distortion pedal, you can get a reverb pedal, you can get a chorus pedal. Now you've got to have them all in chain. You can have them in different orders. They create different effects. I'm more of a multi-effects processor guy. So I have this little pedal. It's called a Mooer, 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 GE100. And it's pretty cheap. It's only about $100 Australian. So I imagine what's that about $60 US. And it has, similar to that. And it has every single thing you could possibly imagine. It has 100 presets in it, but it also has 100 user ones that I can alter myself. So I can go into all these different patches and download them, or I can change them and create my own. And then, so I think of a song. So, you might have a song that you're learning. The intro is clean or may have a bit of chorus, and then it goes into something heavy. So I'll set up two side by side so that I can control them on a foot switch. And by having that all in one pedal makes my system a lot easier. And then I bought this for Christmas. This thing is an absolute weapon. There is only the plasma. There's only 400 of these in the world. They're made by hand in a company in Lithuania, and it runs off a Tesla coil. So, the Tesla coil, it shoots off all the electricity. This is that in controlled version. So instead of being a normal circuit board where you have soldering and all that kind of stuff, your input goes in one side, and then through this screen, the electric waves, you can visually see your sound going to the other connection. And it's a beast. It's absolutely insane, this thing. Handmade in Lithuania, designed by Jack White and Third Man Records. So to get that Jack White, White Stripes, dirty sound. And it's not a distortion pedal. It's none of that. It's a frequency controller. So I have low frequency, and I can drop that, and I can get some deep, deep bass, some cranky bass. And then it's got the high frequency, and everything is done just by controlling the frequency. And then it has this voltage one. I can go from 0 volts to 5,500 volts. Wow. And this thing is ready to explode. What that is like a noise gate. So I can have these dirty, dirty sounds. And if I turn the voltage right down and I hit a note and I go like, dun, 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 the second I stop, this thing stops on a dime. It is just so precise. But if I crank that voltage right up, I now have sustain. And when I hit my notes, they just ring out. And it is crazy. As you can see, I'm in a metal shed. This thing, when it's up, when my amp is up and this thing is up, my entire shed shakes. It is awesome. I have neighbors that are about 6 houses down that are going, "Oh, you're the guitar guy. Yeah, we hear you most Sundays." And that's because of this thing. It is an absolute weapon. But other than that, I keep it very, So mine's even more simple than that. I just have a single processor. All right, Adam, your turn. What do you got there?
A big muff, or one of those multi-stage fuzzers, the other modern types, they can go anywhere.
That'd be great. That'd be a great pedal. I'd love to have a go at that one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, same here. This one's silent, nice and silent. Can't hear it at all.
Pedals, by the way, I would suggest go here. So if you're going to use a clean boost, like the electric. Harmonics, I think, for another time. The most important thing you can get yourself a decent, good quality. Powerboard. Using that on battery setting, so not plugged into the wall, and I use effects pedals that are
Yeah, right.
plugged into the. Anyway, that's what I feel. What does work better is if you're using an effects board, right, and that because you then get that earth because you end up with an earth problem otherwise.
Makes
All right,
sense.
so
That makes
you're not,
sense.
yeah, there's an earthing problem. So plug these in if you're using plugged-in pedals. So that's my big suggestion there. And Darren, you're not you've got a couple of pedals from me, but you're using that one of those Spark amplifiers.
No. Well,
Oh, yeah.
originally, when I first started playing guitar, this was the only effects that I had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was a Toneworks. I've had this over 25 years.
Yeah,
That's a good
It still
brand.
works.
Pocket processor.
But, yeah. But then I got a Spark amp, and then, like, you get an app on your phone, and you got over 10,000
Yeah.
different kinds of effects, which is pretty good. But when I play, I don't play with anything. Like, I'll go and play with that for a little while and then get rid of it and just have a
acoustic.
a guitar sound. Yeah.
Just acoustic. Yeah,
But even when I'm playing electric through the amp, I generally play with nothing.
Yeah, I've got to admit, like
I have my favourite amp that I use at the moment. Hang on, I've got to put some power on. My favourite amp at the moment is one I built just before Christmas, and I got this old 1930s radio here.
Yeah.
And this has a Fender Rumble 25 watt. The 2020. Yeah, the 2022 version.
Yep.
So it's a Bluetooth modular head.
Yeah.
That I sync up to my laptop, and I can download patches to it directly.
Oh, wow.
I really like it because it's like brand new technology in a vintage old technology. And I put touch creations inside there to add a little bit of my personality to it, and I made this whole. Yeah, I'll put it back out there for a sec.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then all this I made the speaker face out of string art. That's all string art. And it's LED controlled. But I love this bass amp. And that's my little Moore pedal right here. So this is my processor.
Yeah.
And basically it has 10 different delays, 10 different phases. You know, I can tap into anything. I can do phase fuzz, I can do hog fuzz, I can do all kinds of stuff with that little processor. It's a fantastic thing. And so those two together, that pedal and this amp, I love it. And the reason I like the bass amp is because my main guitar is a 4-string guitar, and I use the lower 4 strings out of a 6-pack. So mine is essentially a 6-string guitar. Sorry, we're right-handers. So my bass E A D G. I don't have the two higher ones. So to me, this is kind of a bass guitar. I sort of just go in that direction, and I really love the depth that amp gives me on this guitar.
Yep,
it's beautiful.
Perfect segue, Joe. Because Mitch Wiley asks, what string gauges are preferred for certain scale lengths and tunings? For example, 23-inch and open A, E, or G. You all right, Jess?
Yeah.
No.
I actually don't dive too far into string gauges. I'm not that fussy. I like a couple brands, and I just sort of try them out. Hang on, we'll just let Jesse die off there in the corner.
You all right, buddy?
It's been bad the last couple months.
Hang on, let's just go big screen. Let's get the big cough from
No.
Jess. Go, Jess. Come on, let's give us a big snot run.
I honestly can't remember what my real voice sounds like.
You've been like that for a while now.
2 months.
Yeah. You probably would know more about string gauges, Adam, than I do, because I honestly don't really care. I just grab a set that I like. I like working with the low 10 pack. That's what I like.
Look, okay, so
but I don't really sort of. Yeah, you go for it, because I don't really dive too much into what string gauge I use.
All right, so my string journey. Okay, basically I've been using Ernie Ball strings most of my entire life. And usually in standard tuning.
I use Ernie Ball.
Yeah, they're the ones.
That's the pack I like.
They're the ones I really love. The ones that are a little heavier than that as well. The orange
packet.
Same here. The orange packet as well is a very, very good one. I've done the purple pack,
and I've done the purple pack. Purple pack is the heavy bottom.
That's the 11s. So that's your 11s. So when I had the shop at Katoomba, the most popular
I like that
strings,
one too.
Yeah, the most popular strings for me to sell were the green pack, the orange pack, and the 10s, the 2 sets of 10s. 10, I think they're 10 to 42s, 10 to 46, and then the 11 to 48 or 11 to I think it's 11 to 48 or something like that. I don't think it's 11 to 52. Might be 52. I went through a stage because I'm a huge Zakk Wylde fan of using the boomers, the GHS strings that he was using back in the 2000s, and they were 60s. but I never recut the nut on my Les Paul, so it was always really weird, man. That was just down tuned crazy. But look, here's the important thing: when and I've gone through and I've used cheap strings. I've used the ones from CBG Emporium.
Sorry, we missed you.
No, you're right. I've used so the strings I've used the Alice cheap strings, the ones we can get here in Australia. They're pretty cheap. I used the ones from CBG Emporium, the Devil's Hand strings from Mark Wilmot. I've used those. The Ernie balls were my favorite. I kept coming back to them, but they were too expensive. So when I met, and this isn't a plug, I apologize if it sounds like a plug, but the truth of the matter is that, yes, I do. I am the Australian seller for Killer Strings Australia, but the simple fact of the matter is that I feel that as far as the cigar box guitar strings are concerned, I've used CB Giddy strings as well. I think they're pretty good. I don't know about Michael Breedlove's. I should order some actually and do a proper comparison and see what I think.
What about?
Sorry, Joe.
What about the elixirs? Do you ever use the elixirs?
Wouldn't touch them with a bar.
Do you ever use the elixirs?
No, hate them. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them.
Really, I love them.
Hate them. Hate them.
I love them. I love them because they last forever.
No, yuck. Hate the feel. Hate the touch.
I have a problem with rust.
I have a problem. I have sensory issues, and I can feel it. You can feel my hands at the moment now. I can't. Yuck. It's like paper straws. It's like using paper straws. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a moment now.
Scratching the blackboard.
I'm okay with that because I'm a teacher.
Whoa, sorry, I hit a soft spot.
I can do that. I'm a teacher, but no, I can't. It's
before using Killer Strings, I used to use these ones because I only like the color green.
Yeah. Green is good. I like the elixirs because in my area, I'm in the tropics.
Yes.
I'm in the tropics and I do struggle with rust and I find my strings rust very quickly, where if I have the elixirs, I can go maybe 6 months. Yeah. They do have a bit of a weird feel, but I like the longevity of them.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that 100%. The thing I like about the Killer Strings is that they feel good, and I like the way they feel. So I will talk about that gauge now. The Ernie balls. So we use the Ernie balls as the example because not everyone's using Killer Strings or the CBGD strings or the MGB. A lot of people are just using whatever strings they get from a music shop or eBay and online and all that sort of stuff. So here's the deal: when you go and get your Ernie ball strings, that green set, they're going to be fantastic for open G if you use the ADG strings to 25.5-inch scale. They'll be pretty good. They can get a little bit, but if you use that same set and tune to G on a 23-inch scale, I would probably suggest you use the 6, the 5, and the 4, if that makes any sense, because you're going to lose tension. They'll get very flabby because you're not the string the scale length is shorter, and you're using a lighter gauge. The strings will be a lot more flabby, right? If it's a longer scale length, okay, and let's say the same thing. If you use the ADG strings on a baritone, and does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense with that. So if you're going to go and use a 23-inch, or even Del Puckett makes some 21-inch scale necks, which are really, really quite short, you'll notice he generally uses the heavier wound strings, like the 44, 32, 22 kind of string gauges, like they're wound strings all the way through on 3 strings. You need that extra
to create more tension.
That's why it's good to kind of experiment a little bit. I generally don't. The shortest scale length I do is 24 inches. I don't do anything 24 inches. I don't do anything less than 24 as a rule, unless it's just like, because I'm building a couple of little inexpensive diddly bows, because I'm doing a market next Sunday. I'm going up to Blackheath and doing an East. So I hope that helps. If there's it's just a case, guys. And here's the funny thing: you can get a 10 to 42 set from Ernie Ball, and a 10 to 42 set from another company, and they'll feel completely different. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It also depends on what material the strings are actually made from. Okay, so let's move. Okay, so to continue on with that, yes, I'm still very new. Tony Hudson says, I'm still very new to all of this. If I buy a set of 6 strings, if so, what combination? If not, still having fun building. Cheers. I've just said yes, absolutely. Darren Goodpastor said, or you can get CBG specific strings master. Look, the simple thing is that yes, if you've got a 6-string set, there's a wonderful book. I remember his name. I'll have to find it. His first 2 guitars, he built a guitar for him and he built a guitar for his daughter, and he used a single set of strings and he tuned it to E, and then he tuned the other one to E. So he had the thick strings on the tuned to E, B, E, and then on the high strings, they were both the same scale length. I don't know what scale length they were, but then he tuned the other one to EBE using the high strings as well. So you almost had like a bass or you had a trebly kind of sound for the high ones. I think he gave that to his daughter, and then he had the low ones. Yeah, man. Look, I put together guitars using 3 different strings from 3 different sets, and made up and I just tuned it to it. To get to a 10. All right, Johnny Devilseed. Johnny Devilseed is an incredible musician from the Central Coast. I'm actually chatting with him at the moment about possibly having a festival. So we're discussing festivals at the moment, and we're looking at maybe putting something together. Fingers crossed. We've got some ideas. We're just really introducing it. So big thumbs up. Check out Johnny Devilseed. He's incredibly active. I haven't seen him in ages, but he was part of the scene for ages and ages. So hopefully Johnny's back. He's a great guy. He's a lot of fun. He's actually a really good musician too. He said, I have a question. If you play a CBG, does it make you a better human being?
Yes.
So thoughts?
I haven't noticed any change in me. Yeah.
So, all right. So, yes is the answer.
Definitely. Yep.
On here, all comments. Alex Lechner says, I haven't seen this one yet. It must come up during the night. Talk about ways the Australians can come up with a great CBG swap-off like we have here in the USA. I know that there are a lot of great Australian CBG builders out there. It's good fun. Oh, can I just mention, sorry, I digressed for a second. Alex was the inspiration behind this guitar. Now, I didn't actually use anything. I didn't actually use anything that he gave me, but I was finding bits and pieces, and and it kind of was one of those guitars that came together. And Alex is the inspiration behind that. So thank you, Alex, for inspiring me to build that. It's probably the most fun I've had building a guitar in, I can't even think. Yes, we should get a swap going here in Australia.
I'm down.
Absolutely.
It's pretty fun.
Absolutely. We would probably need to set up a new group and get people to sign up for the new group. Is there a way that we can link the 2 groups? I don't know. But this Aussie swap off, the great Aussie swap off or something. So I'm not sure. Look, we will definitely look into it. I think
I'm down for that.
It would be a lot of fun. I think it would be but I think when it comes to doing something like this, one of my favorite guitars was a guitar built for me by Michael Breedlove. and I did a swap off in America, and we organised it. He organised it so that I swapped with someone in America. Was it Michael? Michael Pinkerton? Oh God, I've gone blank. I can't remember if it's Michael Pinkerton or.
Oh, it was. Hey, I put that together, Adam. I put that together 2 years in a row. But I think you had Russ Wellington. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Was it Russ?
I could handle one from Russ.
He's great.
He's a good builder, a good performer
He's great. Yeah.
But Michael felt bad.
Yeah, I like Russ. He's a good fella.
Yeah, but Michael felt bad that people, because at the time, and it's still the same at the moment, the prices from America to Australia are quite expensive. But Michael felt bad that it was Russ. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember now. It's terrible. I know the name is on the tip of my tongue, and I apologise to you if you're listening to this. Please go in the comments and say, Adam, you're a moron. It was me. And I apologise. I do. But Michael actually made me a guitar, and it's
because we did a swap.
Sorry. Well, you and I swap all the time at Christmas time. You and I have swapped guitars heaps.
Yeah, but the first, I remember Jesse organised a swap off, and I got stuck with you.
I remember that too. Yes, I do remember that.
So chances of that, hey?
I wanted to be paired up with Jesse to get one of his guitars.
That was,
Hey, Joe. I'll swap one with you, buddy.
Yep.
Not one of those left-handed ones, though.
We'll do a swap.
Well, look, let's.
Oh, you wouldn't believe I've got to build a left-handed guitar.
Let's talk about
What's that?
I got to build a left-handed guitar. Huh?
Oh, you got an order.
Left-handed.
What?
You got an order for a left-handed?
Nah.
No, if he
my grandson. My grandson.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah.
He's left-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah, get into play right. Get into play right. Serious. No, I'm serious. Get into play right.
A three-string. So I'm left. I agree, 100%. So when I first started playing guitar, I was about 14, and the guy said, "What are you, left or right-handed?" I said, "Left-handed." He strung it up. He took the strings off, put a new set on, strung them up the other way around, and I've been doing it ever since. I wish he didn't say that. I wish he said, "You're left-handed, but we're going to teach you right-handed." I wish he said that, but he didn't. So I'm stuck with it now. But I have found, because, but I have found being a left-handed playing a three-string upside down tuned to, say, G, isn't that hard. It's not that hard. You just have to strum differently. Instead of doing it starting on a downstroke, start on an upstroke, and now you'll be just the same.
The problem with being left-handed.
So it's not that hard.
With right, it's definitely fine. It's like. It's not in the guitar world, because left-handed guitars are very hard to come by. Not all companies.
I'm having a hard time making you out, Adam.
You're right. Sorry, can you hear me?
They are. That's actually why I started building.
Yeah.
I started building because they're so hard to come by.
Yep.
I was sick of walking into a guitar shop and seeing 100 guitars on the wall, and I only had 2 or 3 to choose from. This is ridiculous. I built my own, and it was a Fender Strat copy, and that was it. I was like, I'm never buying a new guitar again. I'm building my own from now on.
They're also more expensive. They're at least 10% more expensive as well.
That too.
And even the parts.
That too.
Even parts, and it's harder to get the left-handed paint as well. It's difficult.
Yeah. I
With a
got it next to
left-handed
the left. I got it to
screwdriver.
the next left-handed screwdriver. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to watch out.
I tell you
because-
what, though, as a left-handed, you go.
Somebody talk.
No, you're right. You're right. I was just waiting for you. Sorry, Joe.
All right. So one of the hardest tools I have ever found as a left-hander is a pair of scissors, because a pair of scissors is molded for your thumb. When I put it in my thumb, it actually sort of digs in and cuts. So in my whole life, that's the only thing that I have found to be a pain in the ass is scissors.
Mm.
That's it. I'm done.
He's done.
I've got no
All
more.
right. And now the other thing is, if you okay,
Adam's
so
frozen in time.
I can't tell if Adam's frozen or not.
no, when you go into your local music shop next, or if you need to order from me, just to have a look, because on the corner of the corner of the string sets, there's now an L for the left-handed sets that they're
Right, for the 10% extra. Yeah, we'll do that one.
yeah, Killer Strings now in left-handed versions. 10% extra. All right, on that
one
note,
pack
guys,
for $300.
On that note, guys, I've got to say, sorry, time has gotten away with us. We've been going an hour and 21 minutes. Oh my God! All right, thank you so much, gentlemen.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Big thanks to our sponsors, CB Giddy, for sponsoring the show. Really appreciate it. You will see a link in the comments down there, or in the episode description, for our, what do we call it? What do you call it? From CB Giddy, using the affiliate. It's been incredibly helpful. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Really appreciate your time, guys. Also, don't forget to check Joe out at Clutch Creations on Facebook. Check out Jesse at Hummingbird Guitars on Facebook as well. You can check out Darren just there. Darren, give us a pose. That's the pose. You want to see what I'm doing? Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful week. Happy building.